This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Door is ajar. Door is ajar. Door is ajar.
Door is ajar. Door is ajar. Door is ajar. Door is ajar. It's spooky season, boys and girls, and that means it's time to dive into the 2003 animated Clayface masterpiece, Scary Godmother. Scary Godmother is basically Foster's home for imaginary friends, but all spooky themed. Growing up, I adored Scary Godmother, but boy, I did not remember it being this insane. This movie is directed by the same godlike dude who adapted the first Percy Jackson movie, so you know exactly how good it is.
I used to date your daddy.
But I mean, just look at this animation and tell me it's not a thing of pristine beauty. Mwah! The animation is just full of Clayface, Play-Doh, rubberized terror, but there's a reason to that. Backgrounds are cel animated and everything else is CGI and heavily outlined. So it looks bad, but it looks bad on purpose, if that makes sense. The movie is oddly really short, just clocking in at over 354 minutes. I was honestly surprised it aired on Cartoon Network without any commercial breaks. Instead, it just goes on, head-on, non-stop, full of blast energy of face-grinding insanity. I mean, this movie got that Eduardo Purple Bear thing from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. It got Todd from Breaking Bad. Hell, it even has that Bakugan guy from My Hero Academic Triathlon.
Come on,
Deku!
It's kind of impossible to critique this. This whole Halloween special is like a pure product of its time, but it also feels like an intense fever dream all the way through. What is the plot, you ask? Well, stuff happens, I can tell you that. And that stuff begins with crowds and crowds of people just going in all directions. This kid is running through kids. This truck is jiggling and bouncing on its way to deliver spooky mail. I think the animators left a piece of gum on the screen and just decided to render that model in there. So here we meet Blonde Todd from Breaking Bad, spouting his classic costume of a piece of candy.
Ooh, a piece of candy.
We zoom past and meet Anne Hathaway as Catwoman, who judges his costume hard.
Daryl, are you a piece of candy?
Ooh, a piece of candy.
Cool, huh?
Then we meet the kid who just embodies my mindset.
With us. Got enough room in your trunk for all the candy we'll get? I said, do you have... Let me roll down the window.
I don't know what kind of drugs this kid is on, but I love him. Next we meet Jimmy Jake Paul, Devil Boy, and his sister Hannah Montana. She has eyes, and they don't have eyes. And you would think this is because she's the main character, but later on Scary Godmother has eyes, which means they're the most important characters, so naturally they have eyes. But then the side character Vampire Mom has eyes, and the wolf guy, and later in the movie every single person suddenly bulged out eyes for a moment, so they have eyes, but they're deep down inside them? There's no continuity to who has eyes and who doesn't. So we meet Hanna-Barbera, whose head is 3 times the size of her body, and may or may not grow throughout the entire movie. So everybody discusses their plans to get candy. They all want candy, but Jake Paul Bakugo believes that bringing along Hannah Cyanna will mess up their candy load. So in turn, they plan to murder her. The piece of candy guy and Catwoman have some weird roleplay in a cemetery, and Bakugo has an aneurysm.
ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
So the big eyeless kids plan to lure Hannah into a nearby haunted house and trap her in the basement and leave her to starve until next Halloween. So they get her inside and don't let her leave. So in turn, she sits down and cries, leading for the grand entrance of the Scary Godmother. Now, the Scary Godmother is just Mrs. Frizzle, but spooky. So the Scary Godmother kidnaps Hanna-Barbera and they head into a painting of a haunted house. Just look at Hannah. Are you gonna tell me her head isn't drastically larger than a few minutes ago? We then meet Scully, who is quite literally a skeleton in her closet. Get it? Scully is that sassy guy who makes about 300 bone puns a minute. Meanwhile, the kids are hanging outside the house laughing in their success of trapping Hannah. Little do they know that she's in an alternate dimension. So Scary Godmother sends her spook juice all over the room, and real talk, the theme song in this movie is honestly a bop. Like, this song snaps. God. So we cut to the kids trading candy like drugs, and we get the smoothest slide of the century.
Oh, and Miss Shoeless Joe for 3 kisses.
Okay. Wait. I don't have any kisses. Oh.
Like, that was way too smooth for a kid. So back at the haunted dimension, we meet Harry the werewolf. Harry the werewolf. Harry the werewolf. Werewolf. Harry the Werewolf. He's by far the worst character ever created in anything. He starts talking incessantly, and out of nowhere, the godmother breaks the fourth wall and gives us a food lesson. Parts of this Halloween special just hit you like a weird fever dream, and it's incredible, I guess? So she sticks that cracker in his mouth and he gets all quiet, and vampires arrive to make vampire puns. That's it, just vampire puns.
Do you sleep in a coffin?
Sure, I've slept in my own coffin since I was 3. You mean you still share a coffin with your parents?
No! I mean, yes. I don't sleep in a coffin at all.
You're homeless?
Then totally not Eduardo from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friend comes out and terrifies Hannah. He chases her around and acts like he's gonna snatch her up and eat her, all where the wild things are and shit, and she's like, boom, light beam! It's not very effective. But then they end up bonding and the mood changes in an instant. So back to outside, the baseball card kid has an aneurysm as well.
Door is ajar. Door is ajar.
And then back to the haunted house, everyone dances in some undefined shadow realm. I'm telling you, man, this special is just insane. During the dance, Hannah just screams and Bugaboo dances all sad. And just like, what the hell? Like, what the actual hell was that? I feel weirdly sad and dirty from that small moment in a dance sequence. So once again, back outside, the gang considers checking in on Hannah to make sure that she's actually dead, and they have a vote on who goes in that goes on for like 30 minutes.
I demand a recount! That's still 1 vote for everyone. Recount! That's 1 vote for everyone. Recount!
And yet again, we go back inside the haunted house for our next plot development that revolves around pizza, ordering pizza, eating pizza, and talking about pizza. Hashtag relatable. And then, as we are nearing the end of our 340-minute runtime, the kids decide to go check in on Hannah, so all the monsters in Hannah decide to traumatize them. This causes the kids to grow bulbous eyes that bulge out of their head, even if they aren't moving. It's incredibly unsettling and pretty gross. The Catwoman girl also has a mouth inside her mouth. She got mad mouths. Scary Godmother melts and fucking dies, so Hannah acts like she's killing all of them with her magic light beam, and the movie ends with the kids looking up at Hannah and the monsters killing the werewolf for wanting more pizza because he's hungry. And that's Scary Godmother Halloween Spooktacular Extravaganza Bonanza. There's something about this entire movie that I can't put my finger on. It's not good in the slightest, but it's weirdly charming simply for how innocent it is. It's not trying to be anything it isn't, just being as Halloween themed as it can by jamming never-ending puns and Halloween related things down your throat. It doesn't really have a plot. People just wait around, eat, dance, and scream. It's weird how much of my childhood this special was involved in. I would go every single Halloween watching it and its sequel. Scary Godmother herself is kinda hilarious. She has more power than a god and has a house that straight up moves on its own. But it never feels like we learn enough about her and her world. For having such an important part of my childhood, I wanted to grow closer to her, so I came up with a plan. It's hard to actually find information on the movies. You can find information on the actual books, but nothing directly on the movies. I figured Scary Godmother herself resides in New Jersey. I say this because I'm from Florida. The only states that Floridians know about is New York, California, and New Jersey. And I see an episode of South Park where Kyle finds out he's from New Jersey, and he has red hair just like Scary Godmother. So she must be from New Jersey. It's foolproof logic. I figured this was the only way to get more information about her. So I took a flight to New Jersey. I took the flight at night, so it's closer to spooky hour when she would be the most noticeable. I went to the closest haunted house where I searched all over for her. No sign of her, but I did find Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z. I searched all around the house for a sign of her existence, but I came across nothing. But I did come across a Blu-ray copy of the masterpiece that is Ted 2, completely unwrapped and everything. But I could not find Scary Godmother. Soon it became daytime, so defeated and saddened, I took a flight back to Florida, but when I came home, I was surprised to find a copy of Scary Godmother on DVD waiting for me on my chair. The copy came from a library in Illinois, a fictional state to Floridians, so I knew it had to be a sign from Scary Godmother herself. The Ted 2 Blu-ray was also there. It followed me home from New Jersey. But I knew that, in my heart, if I could never find out more about Scary Godmother directly, at least I'll always have this sign from her. It truly turned out to be a Halloween spooktacular. That flight from New Jersey emptied out my bank account, so in the spirit of Halloween, it's time for a spooky sponsor from the scariest thing of all, website design. But imagine taking the scariness out of website design and having everything perfectly managed through this week's sponsor, Squarespace. If you go to squarespace.com/24framesnick, you can build a stunningly beautiful website dedicated to your favorite scary godmother. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform with no updates, no plugins, no patches, whatever. With 24/7, 365-day support, you can guarantee that you'll always have someone to help you on your site, day or night. For all of your questions on how to properly build a website, channeling the power of Scary Godmother. Start your free trial today at squarespace.com/24framesofnick and use code 24framesofnick to get 10% off your first purchase. Thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Thanks to Halloween for existing and allowing for all of us to have spooky puns in our names on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at mmnuck for all of your spooky shit. I don't know. If you like this video, why not subscribe and leave a like and follow me on LinkedIn.